Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd with my friends at yarnspirations.com. I'm your host, Mikey. Today, I am going to be working on this easy knit scarf. At the time of doing the homework for this, I didn't know how to make knit hats, so I'm only focused on the scarf today. That's just something that is really neat. This is called the steep diagonal pattern. So what you're going to notice is, do you see the texture a bit? So when you look at the sample that I've made here, I don't know if you can see it on camera because the lighting is so bright, but there is like rippling effect, just like you would see at a sandbar on a beach. So this is an easy 12 row repeat. And the way that I did it is that I have all of my checklists as I go. So I just drew your lines and then you check, 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 check. What I realized is that rows 1 and 2 are similar, rows number 3 and 4, 5 and 6, they're in groups of pairs. So the first row is that we change the stitch count a little bit in order to go across, and then row number 2 matches that stitch count, and I'll explain that when we get there. You'll be using a 5mm size US 8 knitting needle. I'm going to be using circulars today, but you can use the ones with the sticks as well if you want. And we're going to be using Caron Simply Soft as the choice. This is Caron Simply Soft Speckle. The scarf itself needs 2 balls. It's relatively generous. The scarf is approximately 8 inches wide by 80 inches long. So if it's too long for you, just stop at any point and you can have that. And if you don't like the tassel work, then leave it off, or the fringe, just leave it off. You know, you are the artist at the end of the day. We're going to get started right away. This is an easy level. I'm going to assume that you know how to cast on. So I'm going to be casting on and showing you all of that steps. If you'd like to change the size of this scarf, it's in multiples of 6, so every 6 stitches is a multiple. Okay, let's begin by casting on 42. And if you would like to change the size, it's in multiples of 6, as I mentioned. I'm just going to do a small swatch with you on camera. You can cast on in any preferred way that you would like to, and I'm just going to do twist and transfer on, and I am going to get that done. So either do 42 or any multiple of 6. I'll be right back. So I'm now going to begin rows number 1 through 12. I'll do it once with you with the explanation, lots of it, and then I'll do it again without all the extra explanation. So when you reverse the video back to play it over and over, you can have the more simpler version. Well, we're going to start off with purling. So we have to make sure we go underneath this and go in the top side and purl. So we're going to purl the first 3. So we have 1, 2, and 3. The next 3 are going to be knit 3. So move this yarn in behind and knit the next 3. And this is 1, 2, and 3. Salty's barking at the air. Okay, so we have our first group of 6. That's a multiple of 6. So let's do the next multiple of 6. So you're going to put the yarn in front and purl the next 3. So we have 1, 2, and 3. Then move the yarn back and knit the next 3. You're going to repeat this all the way to the end of your line. Okay, so by the time you get to the end, the last 6 will be purling the next 3 because that's keeping in the sequence. And then you're going to knit the final 3 that you have. So move the yarn back and knit. And this completes row number 1. Yours will obviously be bigger, but that's what you have. Let's turn and begin row number 2. So I'm just checking this off my list that I did row number 1. I can never remember, so I have to do that for myself. And so now we're going to begin number 2. So number 2 is the second pair set. Okay, so 1 and 2 work together as a pair. So what you can tell is that the last 3, when you turn it around, it looks like it's a purl. So 1, 2, 3. So these here are going to be a purl the first 3. You're going to notice the stitches after you get a few rows will be very obvious to you what you need to do. So you're going to purl the first 3. And then You see how this looks different? These are knit, these are purls. So you're gonna knit the next 3. So move the yarn in behind. So 1. So you won't necessarily have to manually count if you can identify that. Do you see how it looks different? See the horizontal line? So then the next 3 have to be purl. Okay, the next 3 have to be a knit stitch. And you're going to do this all the way across, right to the very end. Okay, do you see the purls? That's been my biggest hang up with knitting, is not being able to look at the stitch and know what it is. But I'm not even 2 months into this thing and I can do it already. So that makes my life a lot easier. The last 3 will be a knit stitch. And this completes row number 2. Okay, let's turn and do row number 3. So I checked it off my list already. So number 3 is the new set of 2. So 3 and 4 will work together. So in order to get the diagonal to shift, row number 3 is the shift of that. So you're going to see that you have 3 purls here. So the first one is going to be a knit stitch. Everything is still groups of 3, but the first one has to be a knit stitch to begin. And the way that I remember it in my head is that the next 3 have to be a purl. And then the next 3 are a knit stitch, and you keep alternating between the 2. So once you get the first one set up, the rest of them are pretty easy. So I'm going to purl the next 3. So we have 1, 2, and 3. And then you're going to knit the next 3. So move the yarn behind and knit the next 3. So we have 1, 2, and 3. Let's look at the stitch identification. So we are going to purl the next 3. So we have 1, 2, and 3. So do you see that these 3 are knit stitch? So you're moving the purl over by 1. So we have purl 3, so we have 1, 2, and this one here was a knit stitch, but now it's going to become a purl. And now the next 3 are a knit stitch. So you have these 2 that are knit stitch and this purl that happens. So then these 3 become a knit. So you're changing the direction of the stitch work by doing that. The next 3 have to be a purl. So I just figured out that I just have to go right to the end and just figure out what's next. So if these 3 were purl, the very last 2 must be a knit stitch. And if you look at the pattern, that's the truth. Okay, there's just not 3 in a row anymore because the third one was actually the very first one that we started with the knit one by itself. Let's turn and work and do row number 4. Check that off your list. Number 4, we're going to match exactly what you see. So the first 2 have to be a purl stitch. So do you see the even numbers on this one here requires you not to think about changing the directions or where they are. You just can look at it and know. The next 3 have to be a knit stitch. You can see that 1, 2, and 3. They're already a knit stitch. That means the next 3, what are they? See the horizontal lines? They're going to be a purl. So 1, 2, 3. So that means the next 3 are knit stitch. So we have 1, 2, and 3. Purl for 3. So we have 1, 2, 3. knit stitch for 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then the last one has to be 1 purl by itself when you get all the way across. Okay, let's turn our work, check that off, and let's do number 5. So 5, because it's a odd number, is going to be shifting over a little bit, so you're going to start seeing it's shifting in this direction there. So we're going to knit the first 2. So we do the first one, and you see this was a purl, but we're making it a knit this time, and then everything then turns into the grouping of 3 like we used to have. So now you're going to start and you're going to purl the next 3. So we have 1, 2, and 3, and then you're going to knit the next 3. So we have 1, 2, and 3, purl the next 3, 1, 2, 3, okay, and change it back, knit the next 3, so 1, 2, 3, okay, and knit the next, or sorry, purl the next 3, so 1, 2, 3, and at the very end, the last one here is a knit 1, so just right at the end. Turn your work, check that off the list. Let's do number 6. Okay, let's begin number 6. You're going to purl the first one. So number 6 is an even number, so you're just matching exactly what you see. So we're going to purl the first one, and then everything is in groups of 3 after that point. Okay, so then you're going to knit the next 3. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, purl the next 3. 1, 2, 3. Knit the next 3. 1, 2, 3. Purl the next 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, knit the next 3. So 1, 2, 3, and then the very final 2 have to be a purl 2. So 1 and 2. And this is number 6. Turn your work and let's do number 7. Number 7 is going to be a knit the first 3. So we have 1, 2, and 3, and then purl the next 3. So we have 1, 2, and 3. Okay, knit the next 3. So we have 1, 2, 3. Okay, purl the next 3. 1, 2, 3, and knit the next 3. So 1, 2, 3, and then finally purl the next 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And turn your work. That was number 7. Let's do number 8. Number 8, we're going to knit the first 3. So 1, 2, 3, and then purl the next 3. 1, 2, and 3. Knit the next 3. 1, 2, 3. Purl the next 3. 1, 2, 3. Knit the next 3. 1, 2, 3. Purl the final 3 that you'll end up with in the end. Okay, let's turn our work, check that off the list, and let's go for number 9. Number 9, you're going to purl the very first one, and then knit the next 3. And so that begins your sequence of 3 again. So knit 3, so 1, 2, 3. Purl the next 3. 1, 2, 3. Knit the next 3. 1, 2, 3. Purl the next 3. So we have 1, 2, 3. Knit the next 3. So we have 1, 2, 3. And then the very final 2 at the end will be a purl the next and final 2. That was number 9. Check that off in the list. Turn, and let's go for number 10. Number 10, we're going to knit the first 2. So 1 and 2. And then your sequence starts here, so purl the next 3. So we have 1, 2, and 3. And then knit the next 3. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, purl the next 3. 1, 2, 3. Knit the next 3. 1, 2, 3. Purl the next 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And then finally at the end, it's 1 knit, 1 by itself. And that was row number 10. You can start seeing the texture, and let's begin number 11. Number 11, you're going to purl the first 2. 1 and 2. And then knit the next 3. So your sequence starts with the 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And then purl the next 3. So we have 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and then knit the next 3. So 1, 2, 3, purl the next 3, 1, 2, 3, knit the next 3, and 1, 2, and 3, and finally the last one at the end is 1 purl. That was number 11. Turn your work, and let's begin the final row of the repeat. Finally, number 12, you're going to knit the first one, and then start your 3 sequence there. So you'll purl the next 3. So we have 1, 2, and 3. Knit the next 3. So we have 1, 2, and 3. And then purl the next 3. We have 1, 2, 3. And then you're going to start with knit 3. So 1, 2, 3. Purl the next 3. So we have 1, 2, 3, and finally you're going to knit the final 2 that you'll end up with, and this was the end of row number 12, just like you see there. So this is the end of one sequence of the repeating. Hopefully you can see the texture, the lighting's not too bright, and you're going to turn your work, and we're going to begin row number 1 again, and it's not going to be as detailed, and I'll just explain as you go. And let's begin rows number 1 through 12 one more time. Let's begin row number 1 without a lot of explanation. You're going to purl the first 3, knit the next 3, purl and knit, and it's all in groups of 3. So please do this all the way across. Purl for 3, knit for 3. I'll be right back. In row number 2, you're going to purl the first 3, knit the next 3, purl and knit, and do that all the way across. That'll be row number 2. So let's begin number 3. The first one will be a knit stitch by itself, and then you'll start your sequence of purl 3, knit 3, purl 3, knit 3, and then the very final 2 will be a knit 2. Please do number 3 now. Row number 4, you'll start with purling the first 2, and then you'll start your sequence of 3. So knit 3, purl 3, knit 3, purl 3, and the very last stitch will just be purl 1 by itself. Please do row number 4 now. Number 5, you're going to knit the first 2, and then start your sequence of purl 3, knit 3, purl 3, knit 3, and then the very last one on its own will be a knit 1. So please do this for number 5. Number 6, you're going to purl the first one, and then you'll start your sequence of knit 3, purl 3, knit 3, purl 3, and then at the very end of the number 6, there will be purl 2. So 2 on there by themselves here at the end. Please do this for number 6. Lucky number 7 is that you're going to knit the first 3, purl 3, knit 3, purl 3, right until the end. So do number 7 now. Number 8, you're going to start off with knit 3, purl 3, knit 3, purl 3, and you'll do that all the way across for number 8. Number 9, you're going to purl the first one and then start your sequence of knit 3, purl 3, knit 3, purl 3, and the very final 2 will be a purl. Do this for number 9. Number 10, you're going to knit the first 2 and then start your sequence of purl 3, knit 3, purl 3, knit 3, and at the end you'll have 1 by itself, and that'll be a knit. Please do this for number 10. Let's begin number 11. You'll start off with purling the first 2, and then you'll start your sequence of knit 3, purl 3, knit 3, purl 3, and then the very last one is going to be 1 purl by itself. Please do this for number 11. And finally, number 12 is that you're going to knit the first one and then start your sequence of purl 3, knit 3, purl 3, knit 3, and then at the very end, you'll end up with 2 by itself, and make sure that you do your knit 2s at the end. So this is it. You want to go back now to row number 1. You can use the video chapters to go back. And if you just want the sequence that we just did, it's without a lot of explanation. So just click that, or you can look at the time marker on screen and just scroll back if you wish. So please do this until your scarf measures about 80 inches. I'm going to show you how to cast off next. So I want to show you how to cast off. So you have to be at the end of row 12 to do it. You can really do it anytime, but number 12 is what it says. So I can see that the first 2 here are purl, and these are the knit stitches, and then 3 purl, and etc. I want to match what I see. If I cast off in the same way for every stitch, it's going to look wrong. So when I go to cast off, I'm going to start here with the purl, and we're going to purl first and shift it over to this needle here. We're then going to purl the next. So I'm matching what I can see. And once this one's done, you want to position this one over top of the needle. Okay, so the way that I do it, I'm going to put the yarn in behind first. It will be easier, and just grab the first one. And when you pull, make sure that the one that you're working with, the latest one, will not come off with it. So you may have to pull on this strand, and it helps pull that stitch backward onto the needle and just shift it over to the top. Now the next 3 are a knit stitch. So I'm just going to knit first, and then grab the first one, and again hang on to this strand right here and just pull, and don't allow this to go over the edge. And I'm going to knit the next one because it's a knit stitch already. And this is allowing the sequence to go right to the end instead of just having one stitch out of alignment right at the end. So if you did the knit stitch all the way across, the ones that are in purl format will look wrong. So these are purl, so move the yarn in front first and purl. And I'm temporarily just putting it in behind just so that I can hold on to it so it doesn't slide off. And then just put it back to the front and purl the next. And therefore it takes that sequence that you've been playing with, and if you drop it, no big deal, don't freak out. Just reset. I want to leave this in the tutorial just in case that you think that I'm always perfect, which I know you know that I'm not. Okay, we'll put it back on and we'll retry. So we're going to purl and then shift it behind just to get it out of your way, and then take the first one over top. Okay, this one here is also a purl, so move that yarn back in front and do it. I'm just putting it behind to get it out of the way. Okay, the next 3 are knit stitches, and so then you can leave the yarn behind and do that. And so do this kind of concept all the way across, and therefore it will match right to the edge on what you were doing instead of having the edge look like it's wrong. So please do this all the way across and see me on the other side of this in just a moment. So eventually you're going to come all the way to the end and do the very last one. It happens to be in purl format for me. Okay, just take the yarn in behind and pull that second one over. There you go. And therefore this last loop, just pull up on a little bit. So you're going to cut this yarn, and you need it long enough so that you can throw it through a tapestry needle. But before you do much of anything else, just pull your needles out of the way and just put this through the loop. Okay, and that will lock it from coming undone. So do you see the way that we did it? It looks like it goes right to the edge. So now we're going to use a tapestry needle to hide that in. Okay, so we're just going to go in, and then what I want to do is that both sides, it's reversible completely, but what I'm going to do is just take it through the underside of the stitches. So I'm just going to take it through. Okay, so I want to kind of peek at it make sure that I'm getting inside the stitches without coming too much on the outside. Okay, I can live with that. Okay, and then going back in the opposite direction. And it helps if you split the plies. Just don't go between the strands because it'll fall out. And some people debate whether this is even a smart idea, but you know, you got to do what's right for you. And then just coming back a third time, and that should never fall out on you. So you can decide to add some fringe or tassels or whatever you want, or if you're gonna plan on washing it frequently, probably leave it off. And this would be then how you would do this scarf. So it's really neat, lots of texture, and just take care of that first end that you did. And because you use 2 balls, you'll have like a midway through as well to take care of. This is it for today, and we hope that you enjoy. And this is the Easy Knit Scarf. Have a good one. Bye-bye.